I was born in a rural village. In my village, there was no library, and my family had no money to buy me books. There was one thing to read: newspapers. Since my childhood, I have been fascinated by newspapers, the smell, paper, and of course, stories. In my country of origin, Pakistan, many newspapers had a section dedicated to covering news stories of the murders of women and girls in the name of honor, widely labeled as honor killing. This crime may affect men, boys, lesbians, transgender people, but honor killings of women and girls are more common. Last year alone, over 1,000 women and 78 men were killed for honor in Pakistan. These numbers are much higher when considering the unreported cases. Women and girls have been killed for the sake of family honor, as young as 7, as old as 70, by their husbands, fathers, brothers, sons, uncles, cousins, and in some cases, strangers hired by their families. Women and girls have been killed for having sexual relationships, actual or alleged, having a boyfriend, marrying without family consent, failing to prove virginity on their wedding night, being victim of rape, leaving an abusive husband, using a mobile phone, or posting a picture on Facebook. They have been shot, axed to death, beheaded, poisoned, electrocuted, stoned, and even buried alive. I felt angry and sad when I looked at the news section. So I made promise to myself I would do something about it one day. For the last decade, I have been on a mission to find out answers to a fundamental question: what is honor, and why do people kill or harm their loved ones for that? So I began my mission surveying the historical and contemporary literature. I found more than 2,000 papers and books on the topic. And literature tells us honor is a universal concept, but its meaning, value, and application vary from culture to culture, region to region, and class to class. Also, not a single community, culture, or class has the monopoly on defending one's honor through violence. It has been a historical and cross-cultural phenomenon. It was attributed as an underlying reason for some horrible violent practices, including dueling in England, foot binding in China, wife immolation in India, or the honor-based system of retribution in the southern states of USA. Knowing this, I was puzzled. Despite the universality of notion of honor and its enforcement through violence, when it comes to honor crimes and honor killings, many researchers and authors put together Muslims, Asians, South Asians, migrants, black and ethnic minorities in a single basket and call them patriarchal honor cultures or honor-based communities. It is hard to digest and relate how these plural and diverse cultures are simplified, homogenized, and presented as they have the monopoly on the honor, patriarchy, and violence. Another thing I noticed from the literature, most of the first-hand research is done with women and by women, which is really highly important because women and girls are the primary victims of this crime. But on the other hand, almost 100% of perpetrators of honor killings and honor crimes are men. They are the ordinary members of a community or social group without any criminal history. So, I started speaking to men because there was not much research has been done with men on this issue. So I started talking to men. I also spoke to women as well. I found a widely accepted story underlies honor killings in certain social groups and communities. The story goes like this. Family honor is not only an abstract concept, but it is highly valued and fiercely protected currency in certain social groups and communities. They considered women and girls objective of that currency, like paper banknotes with monetary value. Because of this value, maintenance of family honor and avoidance of dishonor or shame are critical concern in many cultures around the world. Because honor defines social position of a family within their respective groups. It can be a class, a community, clan, caste. To make this story credible and prevent people questioning it, a magical ingredient was added to it, like it was added to race, class, and caste systems. Honor is a natural sentiment, meaning God-given trait to man. Therefore, it is immutable. Also, in many countries, this story has been taught in schools, colleges, universities, and reinforced by almost all public and private institutions, including family, media, police, judiciary, parliaments. Stories do not operate or influence in a void. They need structure. For honor story, my research uncovered structure. It is family honor is at root male honor, works at different level in a social group, community, class, or a nation through a patriarchal system called honor system. System is informal and customary, but it gets support from public government and state institutions such as police, judiciary, and district administration. So, for example, in many countries, courts gives lenient punishment to the perpetrators of honor killings. And in some countries, honor killing disputes are settled through village, tribal, or elderly councils. And these councils not only condone honor killing, but they provide infrastructure to the honor system to manifest its power through violence and killings. So how big is this problem? The United Nations identified honor crimes and honor killings occur in more than 30 countries. In 2000, UN Population Fund estimated at least 5,000 women worldwide are murdered each year in the name of so-called honor. Although these figures are contested, many researchers and activists believe the numbers are much more higher. The Human Rights Commission Pakistan reports show over 15,000 honor killings were recorded in the country in the last decade. In 2019-20, UK police forces recorded over 2,000 offenses of honor abuse in the country. Despite the concerted efforts worldwide to tackle violence against women and girls, evidence shows it is rising. Some countries, including Pakistan and UAE, introduced tougher laws, such as Pakistan introducing the landmarking anti-honor killing bill in 2016. Still, honor killings and honor crimes are continued in the country. Even though there was reports it was increased during the 2020 lockdown. To tackle violence against women and girls in the name of honor or otherwise, there have been common approaches suggested: introducing tougher laws, training police, cultural capacity building of prosecutors, more shelter homes for victims. These efforts are necessary but not sufficient to stop honor killing. Then what should we do? We should focus on how to bring change from within to alter social structures and narratives that create a viable environment and enable men to kill women and girls for the sake of honor. This would lead us to solution for tomorrow, to stop avoidable deaths and suffering. For this, history can be a good place to start and learn. The historical records show two practices like honor killings, foot binding in China and wife immolation in India, both were outlawed through change from within. There was huge external pressure and Western condemnation on these nations, like today for honor crimes. But the actual game changer was the movement led by the local people against these practices. Like in China, thousands of anti-foot binding pledged groups cropped up with the promise that there would be no more foot binding. As a result, the practice wiped out swiftly. Likewise, movement led by Indian reformer Rajmohan Rai became the key catalyst to abolishing sati. There are vices against honor killings in some countries. You might have seen a campaign on Facebook or a hashtag trend on Twitter. But there is no community-led, proactive movement against this practice so far. That's my mission, to create a movement which should be led from within. I want to finish this with a powerful message from historian, public intellectual, and my favorite author, Yuval Noah Harari. He says, stories are just tools we create to help people. If they do more harm than good, we can and should change them. It appears honor stories are harmful stories. Let's join my mission to change them. Thank you very much.